welcome back. And I'm glad you're back. I have my official request is please subscribe to the show. I hope you're enjoying the episodes. I want to share this with you right now. Since the beginning of the show, these shows that we started, I've been so fortunate to sit here and it's simple after they've closed and have a wonderful background. And each day, each time we film, I keep seeing more and more sunlight and more beautiful days. So I just want to share with you that this is probably the longest I've sat inside since 8th grade. We are going to get outside and we'll do a lot of filming once the weather breaks and have have some action-driven shows, cutting plants back, looking at insects, pollinators. I've got a number of guests I can't wait to get on the show with. So we will have a lot of outdoor activity coming up, and I just had to bring that up because I'm looking outside right now, and it's just beautiful out. So we've got a few more shows to cover before we get outside, and I thought, you know what, I want to share with you, talk to you a little bit about something I love. And something I love was created by Steve Koster and Colleen Garrigan, and what I love and what we love together is Northwind Perennial Farm. So I just thought I'd take you on a quick tour in this episode of what Northwind is and what we're hoping Northwind can be in the future, and how Northwind came to be in a simple way. And I always have the two questions that I like to begin with. And it doesn't begin, but a part of it came in 2001 when I met Pete Outhoff to see if I was someone that could work with him on Lurie Garden. So when I met Pete in 2001, we had some discussions, and he asked two questions while we were talking. We were talking about a lot of things. We were talking about root competition, crown competition, habits of plants we're not familiar with, what they grow. But he created two questions that constantly I address in almost every design I do, every project I have, and even talking to you. And one simple one was, what makes something beautiful? And there's really no answer to that, but it's a question that you and I and all of us keep. What makes something beautiful? And every time I see something, I wonder, why do I love that? Why do I feel beauty from that? And I come up with what I believe to be my answers for the moment. So that question is always something, I love that question so much, and I wanted to let you hear that one. And the other one is, as he was talking about gardens, is when do people feel or notice repetition in a garden? And I always thought, well, there's no answer to that question, but it's the sense of creating that question that's beautiful. So when you're designing a planting, when do you repeat something so that it's not overly noticeable and becomes boring, but it keeps the interest level of emotions at a high level? So I always think about that when I'm designing. When is something noticeable, and when is it repetitively needed to create harmony in the planting? And in that, I want to share with you for a few minutes what makes something beautiful question with Northwind Perennial Farm. We started Northwind Perennial Farm in 1991. We came up to Wisconsin and we bought this little farm, and our goal was to do things we love to do. And the idea was, if we failed, you don't get sent to prison or launched off the earth into deep space. You just simply go back and work for somebody. And, well, we can do that the rest of our life, or we can take a chance. So the next few pictures show the evolution of Northwind and what it became around the year 2000. And we have a wonderful retail area. And in our retail area, we offer, there's a new phrase I like, we offer hard-grown plants. We don't force things. We have no heat. We grow everything under 30% shade cloth. At one point, we were producing 450,000 perennials a year. We're down to 65,000. And basically, I'm growing plants I can't find other growers don't produce. And people will say that's because they're not profitable. They are profitable. They're profitable in a way that they're integral parts of a plant community. They're the support team for the structural and entertaining plants. So I grow a lot of structural plants, a lot of sedges and grasses that are the grout of my designs. And then we have a retail. We have a 1907 post and beam barn that actually we bought Northwood because of the barn. It just melted our hearts. And we had no business concept of how we would care for anything. And we still carry that theme to this day, not having a business concept. And that's in some ways kept us healthy doing what we love. And Colleen has turned that barn into one of those beautiful artistic sales areas in the Midwest with her love for used and found things. And some of the things she finds, and they're not used, are local artists. There's so many wonderful people and so many creative people. They just need to be found and let their work be seen. And this is the first year, this year, we are going to have an in-house artist at Northwind. So you can come out and she'll show you how to sketch, to draw. You can stand by the goats and she can sketch your children. But she was looking for an opportunity to share her love of art. So we will have an in-house, and that's kind of cool. After 29 years, we keep finding something new for ourselves. And in our production fields, we still grow 65,000 plants. And this year we've increased our number of sedges. I have Carex woodeye, I showed in the earlier show. We're growing Carex woodeye, which is a beautiful architectural plant with narrow foliage, dark green to contrast the lighter colored sedges. So on my part, I just keep adding more diversity to our list, but plants that you can't find traditionally grown. I don't grow fashion plants or plants that are short-lived. And then also as you walk through the gardens, you see beautiful, artistic, emotional stonework. And that's what Steve did, along with the woody plants. And I have to say, unfortunately, Steve passed away last year, way too young, at 61. And this will be our first year in 29 years. He won't be with us. And that's kind of emotional, and we deeply miss him. And our goal is to carry on the love of Northwind and his love of what he brought to Northwind and move that forward. And we're doing that with art fairs. You can see we have art fairs, we have educational fairs, we have workshops we put on. And our principium is educate, inspire, and cultivate. And Colleen came up with that, I think. So we try to be educational, we try to cultivate that which is new, and then we try to inspire people who come out. And I think we do all of those. And without much fanfare, we just do it because it's just our nature. And I have this little card I found with this simple quote from Thomas Edison, and it's, "What you are will show in what you do." And I always love that simple quote, and I think we try to apply that with our love for Northwind. So I want to share with you, thank you for giving me this time to tell you how I feel about something I love. And I can only express that you take some time right now to do it with what you find love in. Because it's so easy in our culture now to find things to be too complicated and shallow. And there's so many beautiful things around you right now that you can say, what makes something beautiful? And why do I love you? So thank you. See you next time, and always have fun. Bye.